What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing a walkthrough of the 8 terabyte system. I haven't done one of these since about 2016, and a lot of the stuff is the same. A lot of the changes that have been made are more behind the scenes, glitch fixing and stuff like that don't necessarily come through in a video like this. Of course, there's been new systems added, but the bulk of the things are going to be the same. So I don't know if I'm going to go through every system in this one like I did through the other one in 2016, because that takes a very long time. So definitely watch this one, and then you can go and watch that one if you want to see every single system in a game from every single system started. But for this one, I think I'm just going to skip around. Now, do stick around, because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to drop in like tips and hints and some helpful stuff that you guys can benefit from, even if you already have one of my systems. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So here this is what the system looks like when it starts up. This is where it lands. This is just showing you on the Xbox 360 controller what all the buttons do. This is just like a theme basically, and you can move around and get off of it and go to another system. All right, if you select this like you would select any system, so if you try to start this up like a system, it starts up a search feature that lets you obviously search the machine by game name. Now, a quick tip here is this isn't like Google, right? You can't just type in something close and it's going to give you a result. This needs to be exact. So if you type in pack space man, you're going to get different results than if you type in pack dash man, right? So that's what this does. Let's go ahead and exit. You can also access that anytime from any of the other wheels. Just press the home button, as it says there, press X to start. All right, so let's get started with MAME here. Quick tip on this one is if you want to play 4-player games, you can go ahead to the genre section, and then you can scroll down and you have 2 4-player game menus, right? So this one you can use if you want to play with a mix of controllers. So 2 people on an X Arcade controller, for example, and 2 people on an Xbox controller. And then this one over here you can use if everybody's on an Xbox controller, or if everybody is on, let's say, 2 X Arcades or an extension 4-player controller, stuff like that. Now, if we go back to the main MAME menu and you do something like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the game that starts up from here is going to be the 2-player version, right? Because that game was available in 2-player version and a 4-player version. So if you start one of these Ninja Turtle games from here, you're going to get the 2-player version, so that you can choose whatever character you want. Otherwise, if you play the 4-player version, you're stuck to the character of the player that you're on, just like a real arcade, right? You had to move around if you wanted different characters. So this is a nice feature that you get with my system. If you start from here, it's a 2-player version. You can you can pick any character, and then if you start it from the 4-player genre section, then you get the 4-player version of the game. Now, another thing I want to mention real quick is if you go to the genres, right? I always get people with questions asking about how many systems are included, and then they might point to someone else that includes more. And I just want to say real quick that I don't play the numbers game. I don't fill my wheel up with unnecessary stuff that is already included in other parts of the system. And this is a perfect example. A lot of these genres right here, a lot of guys will put them on the main system, on the main wheel, I should say, and they'll count it as systems. For example, like manufacturer, like Atari, Capcom, Data East, Classics, stuff like that. They'll take all of these and put them on the main wheel and then count these as systems. I don't do that. MAME is one thing. You come in here, if you want to break it down by manufacturer, by genre, anything like that, that's what the genre menu is for. I don't break this out into the main menu. It just clutters everything up, and it takes longer for you guys to get around and get to what you're looking for and what you actually want to play. All right, so let's go ahead and continue here with that said and out of the way. You have HB MAME, obviously. So, you know what? Let me go back to MAME. I didn't even start a game from MAME. Let's go to my favorites here. And let's see. Let's try Samurai Shodown. You get the loading screen. You get a little artwork, animated artwork on the right there. You get nice bezels, and you can actually change the bezels to different ones. So there's a different one. Gonna do a little bit of gameplay here. for some credits. I'm using my keyboard right now because I forgot to plug in my Xbox controller. I'll plug it in a second. Yeah, it's a pretty good representation of what you can expect graphics-wise from MAME. You know, this is standard stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and exit here. I'm going to try to plug in my controller real quick. Alright, so I just plugged in my controller and it's not working, so this is a perfect time to show you guys another feature of my system. So we're going to back up with the keyboard. I'm going to press escape to back up, and I'm going to go up to the toolkit. And so the toolkit is a couple of like scripts basically that I've written to help with certain things and fix certain things that might go wrong sometimes. So one example is right now I plugged in my controller midway and it's just not working, right? So I'm going to go over to the toolkit and then I'm going to go down. I'm using the arrow keys on the keyboard. I'm going to go to fix X pattern right here. I'm going to press enter on that. And you're not really going to see anything happen. Nothing's supposed to happen. It just runs behind the script. Behind the scenes. But now that I did that, I'm going to pick up my controller and there you go. It's working. So it's the same thing. There's a few things here. Fix MAME sound. Sometimes the sound stops working. You come here, you select that or fix it. You know, fix game sound would be for like other emulators that are not MAME. And this is for a remote session. If you guys need any help remotely, you come here, so you hook up the system to your router with a cable or with a Wi-Fi card. You have to do an external USB Wi-Fi card. The PC does not have built-in Wi-Fi. So you do that, you come here, press enter, and then I can log in and help you out. So yeah, there's a few other very helpful things in here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you guys one more thing in MAME. And I'm spending a lot of time in here, but you know, MAME is the main thing here. So let's go ahead and start, like, let's say, I don't know, let's go back into my favorites. Let's do Third Strike. So what I want to show you guys is the special pause menu. Now, when you go in there, you have basically one thing that you're looking for, and that is save states. So here you can save states, and then it'll show you a picture in the background when you do save it of the part of the game that you're in. And then when you go to load state, it'll show you that same picture, and then you can select from different load states and, you know, load the game where you left off. Now, with MAME, most games support this. They don't all support it. So if you try it and it doesn't work, it's just the game doesn't support it. And then for certain systems, the system in its entirety doesn't support it. But most do, so you should be okay there. All right, so let's go ahead and move on from MAME. And we're going to go to... I'm going to back up all the way, actually. And then... let's say HP MAME is just like homebrewed versions of, or hacked versions of MAME games. Pac-MAME is literally all Pac-Man games, just different variations, like Abortman, for example. Your little fetus running around. I can show you that real quick. So yeah, see your little fetus. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Cave, you know what that is, all the shmups and all that stuff. Start one game. I'm gonna start a few games here, and then I'm gonna kind of speed up because we don't want to be here all day. Like I said, watch my 2016 video if you want like every single system displayed in every single game. So there's Cave. You have to wait for this warning message to go through. Come on. Here we go.
Select your battle fighter. Okay. The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, enough of that one. Now I'm using an Xbox controller right now. You can use an X-Arcade joystick. You can use an extension controller. It could be the Plus version. It could be the regular extension. Just make sure it's the emulator edition version. You can use their 4-player controller as well. It's very nice. I just have to log in and flash my config to that for you after you have it. The other ones are plug and play. I have a whole playlist on controllers on my channel, so you can check that out. So that this is Sega SVT, that's part of MAME as well. Now there's a few systems here. I was talking before about not breaking things out into their own wheel when they're already in MAME. That's generally true, and I do not do that, but there's certain systems like Capcom CPS 1 and 3 and 2 and like, you know, Nintendo Arcade systems and this SVT here. These are the only ones. I guess Cave 2. These I do break out into the main wheel because I think those systems kind of deserve their own wheel. But that's about it. I don't do many more than that. So here's AAE. Now this is going to be all like the vector-based games. Let's go ahead and try. Let's see, what can I try here? Let's try Omega Race. Okay, let's move on. You of course have Daphne, and you know what that is. So let's go ahead and try. Yeah, let's try this one. I like this one. You have to wait for the screen to load.
Hold down the trigger for continuous firing. Use the panel buttons to
Now let's go for easy.
Green? I copy, Big Daddy, but what? I don't believe it. Flying saucers. They're shooting at me.
This game is tricky because down is up and up is down. That's how it is. All right, enough of that. So Zinc is, you know, it has a lot of fighting games in here. My favorite is Rival Schools. And I keep it around because if you try out Rival Schools in MAME, it looks way better in Zinc to me anyway. Let me just skip over that one because I'm going to start skipping things here or this video is going to get way too long. Gun games, of course, is all of your actual gun games. You could use aim track guns for these games, and they're pretty much plug and play. I have a really nice gun setup, and there's just a few minor things you have to do. I have a video for that as well, but it's like almost completely plug and play. And this is all your nice gun games all in one place. So racing games, same thing. All the racing games all in one place. I also have a very nice system set up for that is almost completely plug and play. The only requirement is that you do need the Logitech G29 steering wheel because that's just the one I went with. It's a very nice product, and there's no way I'm going to configure every single steering wheel out there. This system took a lot of work, and that's the one I went with. So if you want this to be pretty much plug and play, you need to get that certain steering wheel. Let's move on here. American Laser Games. Again, gun games. This one you can actually play with your mouse too, or your trackball. But this is a gun game. You can use your aim track guns. Same thing with Action Max, Tato Type X. Let's go ahead and try that one out. Let's see. We can try Contra. As you can see, everything has nice loading screens. Everything's nice and aligned. No funky stuff going on with misaligned graphics or anything like that.
Take 'em out.
Let's go down there. All right. So you have Nessica. This was I added this one in fairly recently. A lot of cool stuff in here. It's a lot of more updated games. Actually, Sega Ring is the one that has like newer stuff, like really new stuff. But this one has some really cool stuff in here as well. So we're gonna skip over this one because I need to get moving here. Thomas Wave. Good old Thomas Wave is here. Let's go to Doujin Games. You have Mugen, Open Bore, Locomolito, some really cool like retro style games, but they're not actually retro. They're newer games. Of course, you have Windows games with your Ultra Street Fighter 5s and stuff like that. Run and Gun is also PC games. But as it says, most of them are run and gun. PopCap, Scum VM, Flash games. Some really cool stuff in here actually in Flash games. Some really quirky games. You have your slot machines. And there's this little trivia challenger. Jukebox, if you guys want to play some tunes. I have a video on this and on how to add your own songs and stuff like that. That's kind of something I do. I tend to release updates and then I'll release like a video manual, I call it, where I kind of show you, different things, like sometimes how the controllers work, sometimes how I went about configuring it and kind of like the logic behind it. So that's kind of something I've been doing for a while now with every single release. You have your Kodi, and then magazines. It's like, all of the like the old school gaming magazines. You can read through them. Vintage commercials just kind of shows you like different commercials for all these systems. So if you pick Atari 2600, you get the old Atari 2600 commercial that plays, and same thing for all of these other systems. Vectrex, EX4000, so on and so forth. Game hacks. This is going to be so it's pretty cool. If you look on the left, on the top left, it'll show you the system. So this one is for us. This is a Super Nintendo game. Then this one is a Nintendo game. That's also Super Nintendo. And these are, hacks of these games. So you have your Ataris here, Jaguar, so on and so forth. Just gonna skip through, your future pinballs. Let's start up a future pinball game. Let's see, what do I start here? Let's do Sonic. By the way, the plunger for pinball on the Xbox controller is the right joystick. So you just hold it down. That feels the most like a plunger to me. And on your like X arcades or any joystick style controller, it's going to be the right joystick as well. You can literally pull down on it, let it go. It feels pretty cool. Kind of feels like a plunger. All right, let's move on here. Visual Pinball, Pinball Arcade, FX, FX3, etc. All your TurboGrafx. Let's do a TurboGrafx game. Here's Zinc. All right. TurboGrafx CD. Then you have all your Nintendo stuff. Let's see, do I have any favorites added here? Street Fighter 2. You can search by letters, obviously by the alphabetical order. So you hold the joystick to the right for 2-3 seconds for that. You get the letters. You go over the letter you're looking for, and then you select it. Now, quick tip for you guys, if you're scrolling through like this, it's better to always use the D-pad if you're using like an Xbox controller. Sometimes the joystick will actually cause the system to lock up. It's a glitch in Hyperspin. So yeah, using the D-pad is a better way to go. And for me, I've always done it that way anyway. It feels more natural to me for this kind of thing. So there's good old Super Mario World. All right, let's move on here. So this same thing, Super Nintendo hacked games. So they're like hacks of the different games. Super Nintendo CD. So it's basically a lot of Super Nintendo games with like CD quality sound. Your Virtual Boy, your N64, so on and so forth. Again, watch the 2016 video if you want to see all of these systems and games actually launch from each one. GameCube, your Wii U, Dreamcast. Let's try a Dreamcast game. Any favorites? No, I don't have any favorites added for this one. Guess we can try Arrow Wings. No, I don't like that one. What can I try here? Border Down's pretty cool. Stuck here. What do I do? Port A, port B. Just press on. Yep, there you go. Just had to press start. Oh, let's do arcade mode. All right, let's move on. There's Genesis, Sega Model 2 and Model 3, Naomi. Let's try that out. All right, let's move on here. So you have Hikaru, Sega Saturn, Ring, Sega Ages. Here are your Neo Geos. Now again, this is part of MAME, but obviously Neo Geo, you got to have its own wheel. So that's here too. Doing a lot of shmups in this video. Of course, I tried different games in my 2016 version, so you can go ahead and, again, look at that one for different games and every single system. Again, I don't want to be here all day again. And I'm sure you don't either. Alright, so you've got Neo Geo CD, Pocket, etc., PS2, PSP. Let's try that. Let's do, have any favorites on here? No, I didn't set up any. And by the way, the favorites are obviously something you can add to. Some systems I've added my own, some I haven't, so you're free to add whatever you want in there. What am I looking for here? Now for these handheld systems, I've put bezels on it that look like the actual system itself. I like it this way. I do have a video on how you can remove bezels if you don't want them. Alright, that's enough of that. Alright, so scrolling through here, these are all the older stuff. 3DO, Xbox, I just added that recently. I have a whole video on that one you can watch. You have MS-DOS, and we're back to the toolkit. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much gonna be it. I'm always adding stuff constantly. I have a private group you can join. You have to be an existing customer to join it, and I release all update packs through there. So I'm going to be releasing a lot of stuff coming up because I've been working on the system again. I took a little break there for a while. But yeah, constantly adding stuff. You can get support there, etc., etc. And like I said, this is the 8 terabyte version. The 2 terabyte version is very similar. It has a few less things, but it's very similar. And there's going to be an upcoming 16 terabyte that just expands on a few things and includes a few more obscure systems. But this 8 terabyte is really like a nice one to get, and so is the 2 terabyte one. Again, very similar. I can send you a document that lists the difference between the two. But yeah, that is it. Again, if you guys want to see an in-depth video, just watch the 2016 video because it's very similar. A lot of the major changes are all behind the scenes. And then, this one has a few more systems I've added in here that the other one didn't have, like Xbox. I'm actually going to start a quick Xbox game for you right now. Let's go to the genre and let's select Xbox Working Games. For an explanation of that, you can watch the Xbox video. And let's try Jet Set Radio Future. Now this game and any Xbox games take quite a bit to load. So I'm probably just going to skip forward on this loading here so you don't have to wait. All right, here we go.
Yo!
Cool. All right, guys. So yeah, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.